Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Quite a few months ago, I unboxed a digital picture frame and was quite happy about it. It was a frame that was Wi-Fi enabled, so I could email photos. Anybody could email photos to the frame, and it was fun. I mean, it was a total blast, since the only other digital picture frame I had was an old Kodak, like, what do they call it? I can't even remember. They don't make them anymore. Essentially, the old Kodak frames. They've got newer versions out now. And over time, it became less fun because the software just kind of sucked. It was quite limited. It worked inherently, but the experience on the frame was just, well, I thought somewhat crippled. So while my initial observations and assertions for that particular frame were positive, over time that steeped into negative, and that's why you don't see a digital picture frame sitting around my desk anymore. Because the idea was, I was hoping that I could subscribe to RSS feeds, I could have any one of you email pictures to the frame, and then the pictures would show up, and of course that's what is possible with a frame that is connected to the internet wirelessly. So, this whole fascination with wireless frames started when eStarling released their first frame, and this was, I think, about a year ago. And unfortunately, eStarling had a horrible, horrible time with, number one, manufacturing those frames. Number two, the reviews of those frames initially just were not any good. And so wireless picture frames have not been good to this point. However, I just so happened to stumble upon a link that was saying that eStarling has now released the second revision of their frame. I don't know if this is a perfect frame in terms of wireless connectivity as well as display and everything, but if the features work as advertised, as being powered, I believe, by C-Frame Live, the software on the website, on the box, web-based hosting and organizing of photos, unique email address for the frame, social frame feature, I don't know exactly what that means, but it sounds impressive, multiple RSS support, email to frame, web to frame messenger, outbound frame RSS feed, which is cool, so that means anything that shows up in the frame you can subscribe to the RSS feed for, send photos from the frame, automatic synchronization, power saving, and a desktop widget, which is, you know, for all intents and purposes, sounds good to me. Allegedly, it supports WEP and WPA for encryption level, 802.11b and G for wireless networks. The LCD supports, according to this one, it's an 8-inch LCD, 800 by 600, which isn't the highest resolution frame, but the fact that you get wireless connectivity should be good. Now, I'm, I'd say about 100 feet away from my wireless signal, my wireless N router, the airport, the Apple airport, which has been good so far. On my MacBook right now, I'm getting 5 bars on signal strength, full strength. So we'll give this a shot. It doesn't need, this is the first time I'm opening it, by the way. It doesn't need to have a wireless connection. It still will support external memory, like removable media from your camera. Oh, great. This looks very small. Nice. That's the AC adapter. There's the USB cable, likely to connect. Ooh, it's nice and small. I'd rather have a smaller frame to set on the desk than a larger frame, for a lot of reasons. But I can also zoom in, you know, at night, set the camera up, and then zoom in closer on the frame so that when I'm not streaming live, you can watch the frame stream live. We'll have to figure out how to pull that off. So one of the complaints about the original eStarling frame was that it had the eStarling logo on the front, which is really, really kind of lame. They eliminated that, and wow. I hope the frame itself and the software itself is just as slick as the frame. Very, very nice. Very nice. It's just a flat surface, and you can tell if you can see the reflective sheen. On the back, you've got controls. Look like they're labeled quite nicely, I think. Should be easy to tell what's what. We've got pause button, forward, backward, Windows, looks like a reload, D, and then the @ key, and I'm assuming the @ key is for email. Alright, so let's figure this out. See, this is the thing. I don't want to have to read instructions for my gadgets and gizmos. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's good to dive into to get deeper into the features, but if the gadget itself isn't self-explanatory, then it's really not a good gadget. And if an engineer has to explain how to use it, well, the engineer should not be explaining how to use it. There we go. On the side, SD, MS, MMC, XD, and CF. So those are your removable media formats. USB. So you can likely plug in any type of external USB device and have the pictures automatically collected from it. So let's turn this thing on. It's probably got some sample photos, and that's about as far as I'm going to be able to take it right now, because I've got an account, but it's registered for their sample. They have on eStarling's website, they have a gadget you can download on the desktop to try out the back-end software to see if you want to buy it, and I think that's genius. eStarling did the right thing, and like I said, I think they're using somebody else's web site technology. There's another company that basically builds software for digital frames, software that's social enabled. That's what's really making this thing a home run for me, knowing that someone or a team of developers is dedicated to making a great software experience for the digital picture frame. Alright, so we've got her plugged in. I don't know if it turned on automatically or if there's a power switch somewhere. Oh, there we go. Here, I'll bring her in closer. Got the boot screen. So now, again, that I'm showing this off, I'll share the email address for this frame so you can email photos to it. And on Flickr, if you want your photos to show up on this frame, you can tag your Flickr photos, or I think WebShots, it handles any RSS feed. But I'm specifically going to set up this frame to subscribe to the Chris Frame feed. Chris Frame. So tag your photos, Chris Frame, CHRISFRAME, that's just one word, and we should be good to go. Now it's saying the Wi-Fi is connecting. Since I've got my network locked down, hopefully it'll be able to pick up the access point, and if not, well, then this whole thing was all for naught. Even though, you know, my MacBook is able to pick up the signal, it could be because of the antenna. I don't know how strong a signal I need for this particular antenna to pick it up, but it seems to be stuck on the Wi-Fi connecting. So I guess this is really part one of the eStarling frame, and instead of just waiting for this thing to eventually possibly connect, I'm just going to close her out, and of course you'll be able to stay tuned to my frame-tacular adventures. If you've got, oh, there we go, Wi-Fi connection problem, this frame can't get connected to your Wi-Fi network, please go through Wi-Fi setup process again. Oh, they forgot the. Please go through Wi-Fi setup process again by going to www.cframe.com, or for troubleshooting information, go to cframe.com/support. So I may have to go through the Wi-Fi setup process again, apparently. I don't know if I got control. Oh, there we go. I've got a MAC address. Look at that. Ooh. Firmware revision, August 6, 2007, so that's relatively recent. Let's see, we've got a little, not exactly the most elegantly designed splash screen, but it's certainly functional. Copy files from PC or removable media. Just seeing if I can get to any kind of Wi-Fi setup. I got to give the other frame props for having the Wi-Fi setup on the frame itself. That's going to be a little bit concerning. Like I said, I hope this is going to be able to pick up the signal this far away. If not, well, I'm just going to have to cry myself to sleep at night again, waiting for a wireless digital photo frame that will finally work. So, design looks great. We'll see if I can get it to connect. If I was sitting on top of the wireless router, I don't think I would have any issue. But we'll see how it works with encryption. Hopefully I won't have to dumb down my network, wireless network, in order to get this thing to work. Anyway, if you know of any other digital photo frame that you think is possibly better than this one, let me know. And as I said, stay tuned. Hopefully we'll get this thing working sooner or later, and then we can all enjoy digital photos on the wireless frame. Ooh, all this geeky cool stuff. You can email me, chris@pirillo.com. Don't email me your photos, though. That'll be a different email address altogether. And, of course, you're also welcome to swing by our website anytime, day or night. We're typically talking tech, gadgets, gizmos, software, hardware, internet problems, solutions, fun stuff, you name it. we're usually talking about it. And our chat room is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Someone is typically there. I'm not always awake, of course. I have to sleep. And when I'm asleep, plenty of other people are, talking. Typically, they're behaving themselves, right? You're behaving yourselves? Hopefully. And, of course, that chat room can be found in one location on the internet, and that is quite simply at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.